Today's shave is going to have the Gillette Gold as the blade, and here is what it looks like on one side, and on the other side it's a little bit more braggy. And so this is the Lather Games, and we have our Gillette Sheraton. This, because it has those side rivets right there, it means it's a early 38 or a 1937 Gillette Sheraton. I like the way the doors just come together here. This is a really smooth shaver, despite it being open comb. It is a myth that all open combs are aggressive. So we'll just put the gold in there. This is the first time I've ever used the gold blade, so we'll try it out. The Sheraton has been a good shaver for me so far. The soap we have for today, because today is LA Shaving Company day for the Lather Games of 2018, and here is the entry that I will be using. Black Fern. It's a fougere soap from them. It's got, I believe, activated charcoal in it to help with the, I believe that helps with smoothness during the shave. Let's hook out. I've used this sample once, and it's probably a little too floral for me, and so that's probably why I put it in my, don't like it box. But yeah, definitely it's got a fougere. It's got a geranium and lavender, has kind of some of the top notes. It's got patchouli and labdanum. I don't know what scent that is. So I'm just going to press that into the bottom of my lather bowl here. Now the interesting thing is that this thing also has eucalyptus and clove and peppermint, and those are flags that always means I will not enjoy that soap. So I'm interested. It hit me curious that what if you took lavender that I don't like and all these other scents that I don't like. Will the clove offset the lavender and turn it into something that I might find tolerable? Let's just see. So a quarter of a teaspoon has been dished out into the bowl. The brush we'll use today is a Kent Silvertex. Give you the bird's eye view. Infinity Silvertex. Sorry, the focus just doesn't, there we go, maybe that's, there we go. All right, close enough. You should be able to read that. Hasn't been used very many times at all. You can see by the bristles, they're pretty straight. We will use my syringe to add water. So that is now ready to go. Post shave will be Pinaud Clubman Whiskey Woods, which I really enjoy. And then, but right before that, I will, or maybe after that, I'll put on some balm to help my skin out. Because this isn't really all that helpful for skin, with mainly just scent and alcohol. Got about a 1-day shave on the face. We've got the soap dispensed out. The razor's ready. Put some water on my face. I have hard water, and I just use whatever comes out of the cold tap. Right now it's kind of cool-ish, room temperature. Okay, so this is a little small brush, very small, maybe the smallest handle I have, so I am quite sure that the suds are going to get all over my fingers here, since I'm a bowl latherer. Now, when I first press it into the bowl, what I immediately notice is how much it, kind of how narrow the knot is, because it immediately gives some flex. Now, I remember not liking this brush too much because it just too much backbone. I can already tell right now it is resisting as I move it around, which means it's probably going to shove in my face like most of the contemporary synthetics do. Probably for those of you who don't mind this, it is probably going to be a great travel brush, small size. Now what's happening is I'm moving it around, it's not really splaying, it's just kind of flopping over to one side. I don't really care for that. But it is new. It's possible that it could get worked in a little bit to be a little better. This is staying pretty dry with this soap. And that's always the first thing that I try with a new soap. So let's go ahead and start adding half a teaspoon of water. And we should see the lather start to change very much. Oh, you know what? I didn't even soak this brush. I mean, I never soak my synthetics, but I didn't even get it wet. So no wonder it was staying pretty dry. The floral scents are definitely coming up. Very dominant. If you're really new, the grip I usually use is finger tucked in along this little concave area here, the bottom, the middle finger, pointy finger along there to provide support and direction. And then the, I already showed you that one, thumb, just kind of along that groove as well, in case you're new and don't quite know how to do the grip. But to be honest, that's one you can start with if you want, but if you find a better one, do it. It's up to you, totally subjective. This one doesn't have as many fingertips near the soap, it just has the one, and so that's one of the reasons I like it. This company, LASSCO, I will abbreviate, deserves to be put down in the kind of the wet shaving Hall of Fame. When the guy started this, he kind of helped all these current artisans that we have right now. His work, he would post stuff like online to help people, and they have then made companies, great soap companies out of with his information as what kind of helped them to get started. So I think he may not be the top of the heap anymore. Definitely a good shaving soap, but he deserves recognition. Now there's a stage when you're bowl lathering where your lather kind of comes up to the top. When you're mixing down here, it kind of gathers up on the walls. Okay, that tells you a little bit about the water content. To me, that says I need to add more water. I usually find most good soaps that I really enjoy, I usually find the lather has, by the time I get it to a point where I like it, the lather is no longer staying up on the walls. It's more of a meringue consistency that is falling down from the walls. Now look on the underside. You see all those jagged little points and stuff? That's another thing to look for. To me, that usually indicates that I need to keep adding water. All those jagged little points need to smooth out for most soaps. There may be some that can't tolerate more water, and so you would need to, I might need to stop them a little earlier than I might normally. This is definitely, you know, splaying a little bit better now that it actually has, you know, soap in it. So that earlier report that I gave you about how it just flopped around, the reason it was flopping around was I didn't have enough water, practically any, in there. All it had was water from the soap itself, which wasn't very much, since I had not rinsed the brush out. Now it's getting more soupy. Got this brush just as a part of a bulk purchase where I bought several items at once. Now there's pretty much no avoiding the amount of slather I'm dealing with here. It means all fingers get some love. Still, that floral scent is coming up. I'll put a little bit of water in there. Show you what the peaks are like. Soap consistency here. Let's take a feel. Nice cushion here. Pretty good slickness. So I feel comfortable adding a little bit more water. I don't know if I have filled that syringe up again. If I've not refilled it with water, then we are just at 2 teaspoons of water. Now look at the smooth contours. We're almost getting rid of any of those jagged edges. So I've gone ahead and refilled it again. I feel like adding just a little bit more. Man, that floral scent is just all over the place. So I would prefer probably a little stronger patchouli to kind of help balance that out, but that's just me. I'm not a floral guy. I don't like those to be the main players in the scent. It's not my style. So, just to show you, got tons of lather. Look at these peaks that have come up. That's more along the lines of what I'm interested in shaving with. Still a little bubbly, and that's just, you know, some tiny bubbles you can see in the soap and the lather. Sometimes you can reduce those by adding water a little bit more slowly, but I mean, I added it pretty slowly. It would take forever if I slowed it down more. So let's just shave with this, see how it goes. Final rinse. If I end up with a lot of lather on my fingertips, I'll kind of use that as a little bit of a pre-shave clean in that rinse right there, which I did. Okay, so this is a small knot, so it's going to be able to fit in your, you know, DOP kit easily for travel. It's not doing too much face shoving right now. That's cool. thought I was going to have to sell this guy, but we'll see how he does on the other passes. It is, I can feel it shoving a little bit, but it's not uncomfortable because the bristles are more, maybe because it's a smaller knot, so it's got less bristles to act as the backbone. It's not difficult like some of the other bigger synthetics. It's not difficult to keep it splayed. Well, it's not a pain to keep it splayed, let's put it that way. It's not difficult to splay the others, it's just kind of a inconvenience and a pain to have to work that hard to do it. All right, very nice. Lather feels terrific. Creamy. Probably a little thicker than I usually use it, but let's give it a shot. So this was kind of a collection of odds and ends for today because I don't have too many LASSCO scents. This may be my only one. And so that's why I picked the Gold to be the crazy odd man razor blade to use for today. And I picked the little Kent oddball razor, oddball brush. So we'll just see. I've never used this Gold before. I got it as a part of a assortment. Probably from triblade.com. Ooh, nice feel. Just a regular type feel of, you know, hairs being cut, no pulling at all. It's smooth, but you still get some blade feel. It's controlled. The feel of the blade kind of feels like it should. Very little blade chatter, you know, very little audio feedback. It's just a very good razor. There we go. Little half rinse. Well, so far I'm liking this brush. Soap is performing well. Maybe when I used it before and kind of had some complaints, my mix was a little too thin or something like that, so the brush didn't feel as nice, you know, something like that. Oh, happy with it. I mean, it's not going to be my daily driver because the handle is so small, it's very messy for me. But in terms of I probably need, it might be a good travel brush or something like that. Cross grain pass on the cheeks now. Very smooth on the second pass here. Pretty easy to find the sweet spot here in terms of razor angle. And remember to shave from the bottom up right here. Seems to be the best policy for this little tricky area. I basically am doing 3 cross grain passes on my neck because my neck hair goes sideways. This soap is not giving a whole lot of residual slickness, so once you shave an area, you got a little bit of time to kind of buff it up without having to relather, but it is going to be necessary to relather if you wait too much after that. Very comfortable shave so far. I don't believe I've got any irritation. Looks like that gold blade might be pretty good. Of course, we'll have to check the results. Comfort is high, but we need to make sure the results are good. So one note about this soap is it's kind of drying faster than your average soap for me. So that's an issue for some people. Maybe straight shavers, straight razors, because they usually text that they have to be a little bit more careful. But it's not too much of an issue for me right now. I noticed some little bubble particles kind of flying off as I finished my lathering just a second ago. And there we go. I'm going to pause you while I do my final rinse. I'm going to check out the situation. So I'd say the gold is a pretty good blade. I do see a little bit of stuff left over, kind of an average amount, but that's average after 3 passes and an extra pass on the neck, and I haven't done that pass yet. So this might be a blade that in this razor at least performs a little bit above average for me. So that's pretty cool. Seemed kind of like an obscure blade. I don't see it referred to too often, but it looks like it's a pretty good one. I don't know the price point, whether it's one that's typically available in other markets outside of the US, and so then it might be more expensive. But so I wouldn't pay too much for it. I'd probably pay, say it's more along the lines of the $16 per 100 might be my guess, is about what I might be comfortable paying for it in the US. So they said this soap didn't need as much water, and that is surely true, because I believe I only put 1 syringe plus this, which is going to be 2 1/3 teaspoons of water. It's 4 1/3 if I indeed did refill it earlier, but I don't think I did. The video obviously will show it. So that's how much soap I used in the process. And here's how much water I used. Here's how much soap is left. Tons. So this is a soap we could definitely not, I don't need to use 1/4 teaspoon to do. It's like 2 passes of extra soap that I have with me, because I probably would like to keep a little bit to make that extra neck pass like I told you about. I'm skipping it this time. But that's a good soap to, a very efficient soap. Don't have to use as much product. Another good use for a synthetic might be, I just dried this guy out. You can see he didn't really change too much during the shave. They dry quickly. That's another great. You're not going to have mildew and stuff inside as long as you strop them up and down on a towel a little bit after your shave. But if you have a soap that tends to stain a brush, there are a few out there, not too many, then a little synthetic might be a good way to go, unless you just want to buy an extra brush that you want to use for that, and that can take all the stains if you like the way your normal brushes look. So the Sheraton is a great example of an open comb brush. Here's the open comb. that is not aggressive very much at all. Now this is efficient, it cuts well, I've gotten a good shave, but it's very comfortable, and so this is one that dispels the myth. Typically if you have a dual, open comb, if you have a make that has a razor that's available in the open comb and as well in the solid bar, usually the open comb will be a little bit more aggressive. So you can make that assertion if it's within the same model of razor, but you can't, like, yeah, there are plenty of solid bar razors out there that are much more aggressive than this open comb. Also, this razor again proves itself to be a wonderful match. I've shaved with it a few times now and it does well with everything I've put in it. Really happy with it. You know, it might be a good trait, this drying of the soap, because if you need your face to dry out quickly after the shave, then it might be handy for you. We are going to go ahead and put on balm right now. Let it kind of be soaking in. All right, so there we go. I put on the balm. Now this one's great. This is the original and it does have alcohol, and so some people prefer to get the sensitive, which does not, and it's a little bit more hydrating. But because this alcohol can sometimes dry your skin, which is why sometimes people need a little bit more help than this kind of aftershave. And so I enjoy this one because I have oily skin, and so this is a nice balance. It's got moisturizing ingredients, but also the alcohol. A little bit of an antiseptic effect with that, and also tells you like how your shave was. And I had virtually no stinging at all, which proves that this was just a very nice, comfortable shave, efficient, with maybe 80%, 75 to 80% of my cheeks getting baby butt smooth without really trying to go against the grain at all. So it's a nice close shave. In the business world, there will be no problem with going to work with this shave unless somebody was just right here. So that is just that's tremendous to be that efficient and that comfortable. No irritation at all. Nothing for the balm to heal, at least nothing visible. You know, because we are removing that top layer of dead skin cells, we are doing something to our skin that we don't sometimes realize. So that's why the balm is helpful. But now that that is almost all soaked in, let's hit myself with the Whiskey Woods. The bottle looks so big, so much larger on Amazon, but it's like 6 inches tall. It just looks huge. I don't like the original Clubman scent, but I like the Special Reserve, and so far I'm liking this one. I haven't used it too much, as you can see. There we go. All right, so that is LASSCO Day, Los Angeles Shaving Soap Company. I hope this was of help. Sometimes these obscure products may, I hope that there might be somebody that's doing a search, and maybe this is the only video that has a Gillette goal in it. Who knows? I don't know. But I'm just trying to be of help, put some products out there. In a sense, it might be of help, but in a sense, it might not, because blades are very subjective. And so just because it was a wonderful shave for me, it may be rough for you. And of course, it might behave much differently in other razors. It all depends on the geometry and your skin type and hair type and all that. So your mileage may vary. But anyway, I hope it was of help to you in some way. Take care. Have a good night.